everyone, and welcome to the Chakra Diva Show. I am your host, Amber Poole, also known as the Chakra Diva. I am a shamanic energy healer practitioner. I love crystals, work with crystals, psychic, and medium. So I want to talk to you guys today about the subject of what we call soul loss in the shaman world. And I like to talk about it this week because I've had 3 sessions that all needed soul retrievals. And I think it's really important to discuss the dynamics of what a soul loss feels like or is, and what a soul retrieval is. I do want to mention that we will be doing these in our upcoming workshop. If you go to thechakradeva.com and you are interested in becoming a shamanic energy healer practitioner, you can look on that page for more details on becoming really perfectionist or perfection your soul loss techniques. So what the heck is soul loss and what are we talking about? And I'm not sure why this week I've had so many. I do know that as an energy healer, people come to you in clumps. So if you are thinking about energy healing, or if you do this work already, you will notice that there is like a group of people that will come to you and they all have the same thing. And then next week, it'll be another group and they all have the same thing. So this week, I am touching on a soul loss. Now, a person who experiences a soul loss may feel like they have anxiety or they're not home in their body. They may have depression, or it can be as simple as being lazy and not knowing why they don't get stuff done, or they procrastinate, or, the people who always say they're going to go on a diet and they can't figure out why they actually don't do the work. Some of it has to do with what we call the soul loss. So soul loss can happen for a few reasons. The most common reasons are abandonment issues as they're growing up. And it's when your soul basically fragments. It's not your soul fragment. You in your physical body fragment from your soul. And what happens is we have to do the shadow work, that's the gift, in order to feel at home or bring it back together. So until we bring our soul back together and we become whole again, we may have depression. We may have this anger or this not wanting to get things done that lies underneath. So again, the ways or how this commonly happens is through abandonment issues. So, if you're growing up and your family leaves you, or even if you're a teenager and your first love just ups and leaves and was like, oh, doesn't mean anything to me, that person, that's hurtful. Okay. So your soul may get out and leave during that time because the soul does it for protection. Your soul does it to keep you safe. That's why the soul leaves, technically. Also, trauma. So this is physical trauma, emotional trauma, mental trauma of somebody speaking with you. Grief, that's what I found tonight, was a lot of grief as I was exploring this girl's lungs. And we start to dig out what's in it. And I said, oh, there's sadness. And then underneath the sadness, there's grief. And it goes deeper and deeper until you hit the root of why this is occurring. A sudden, shocking experience. So think about a car accident, right? Maybe, obviously, we never want to be in a car accident, but maybe somebody got hit, or it could be a football game, right? And your body escapes. It escapes to protect you and to keep you safe. So like an experience that you weren't expecting to happen, a fall down the stairs, you can leave your body. If anything that jolts you out of your body would be a soul loss, what we call soul loss. Abuse, that would be there too. Again, physical, mental, emotional. Addiction, I see addiction a lot. And why does the soul leave with addiction? If you think about somebody who is an alcoholic or somebody who is doing drugs, a lot of times they do it to escape the reality of what is going on. Many people don't want to feel the things that they have to experience or whatever's in front of them, and they use it for numbing, right? So a way not to deal with the reality. It's also a way for the soul to leave, to keep them safe again and protected. And finally, one of the other most common things is a near-death experience. So if a person has one of them, then they jump out. The reason why I got into this whole entire healing business, I guess you should say, is because I left my body. I don't know how else to say that, right? I was sick one day and I fell over and I felt myself flying above my body. And I knew that that wasn't a good space. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm above my house now and I keep floating. Where am I going? What am I doing? And to me, I swam back into my body because it scared the crap out of me. But that is what we call a soul loss. So it wasn't anything that, I intentionally did. It was something that happened. And as I was coming out of it, I decided to escape would be the best thing to do. So when you have these things that happen to you and then you don't feel like you're at home or you're in your body or, things are different, they shift and you just don't feel the same, what I like to do is look over your contracts. So everybody has contracts before they come down into this experience. And while we're up, let's say the other dimension, and we're deciding what this experience in this lifetime is going to be like, we make contracts so that we remember that we are loved, we are light, we are whole. And these contracts aren't always the best thing. So while we're in spirit, we don't understand the physical technicalities of what we're going to experience down here in this physical world. So we may say, okay, you know what? I want to experience a physical illness so I know how to take care of my body. I want to experience the loss of someone so that I know connection on a deep level. Now, in the spirit world, this all makes sense. But then we come down here and we're like, hello, that is painful. Like, I don't like grief. I don't like trauma. I don't like abuse. Why would I do this to myself? So I like to look over contracts first. What deal did I make? What did I say with my soul? And you can even find your contracts in your physical everyday life. So when I was little, I experienced pain, and I can't remember what I was upset about, but I was a little kid. And I was so upset one day, and I said, why did you make me a person? How come I'm not a tree? Next lifetime, I want to be a tree. And I couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old. So right there, those words are a contract in with my life. So I have to go back and say, please don't make me a tree. I don't want to experience being a tree. So after you identify the contracts, number 2, you have to recall that part of you that is missing. So when I was flying above my bed, recalling that part of my soul come back to me. One of the ways to do this is, the best way I can explain it is I was having a seizure one day. It was the only seizure I've ever had. I was in Colorado, given a presentation, and my body was so stressed out, and the altitude there just knocked me on my butt. And I started to have a seizure on the floor. And what I did was I recalled all of my energy back to myself. And I said, from the north, the south, the east, and the west, I recall my energy back to me. Excuse me while I take a sip really quick. And this is a way to bring all the energy that I have left in different spaces, in fragmented places, back to myself. And when I did this with such power, and it sat in where I was, I stopped having my seizure. It just completely stopped. And the next morning I felt fantastic and I went home. So you want to recall your energy back to yourself. In the workshop coming up, we use a crystal. So we use Snowflake Obsidian or regular obsidian to recall our soul back to ourselves. And we actually place it with us into our crystal, and we're able to experience it, walk around with it, and be with our crystal to feel whole again. And number 3, you have to clear the pattern. So you will find when you are doing this deep work that we all have archetypes and we all have patterns. Now, My pattern, I will share with you, one of my pattern is kind of like I am the innocent archetype. So my innocence. Now, my innocence and my naive, being naive, helps me in many ways because I'm kind of like the fool in the tarot. I take a step and a leap into things, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I do it with an open mind. And I can't wait to see the experience that unfolds. Then there's the other part that's like, how stupid could you be to be so innocent and naive? Right? So, an archetype has a positive and a negative side. The servant, as I was talking with my client tonight, she has an archetype of a servant. How does this help her? It helps her because she can open up her heart and expand compassion to other people by being of service to them. But the downfall of being the servant is that she also feels like she puts out too much energy to help other people and it doesn't come back. So every time we look at the archetype to clear the pattern, you have to come back into balance. Where am I over in balance? Where am I under? What can I do? So I love to work with the archetypes. And if you really want to take this work down to a very deep level, you can put it into your astrology wheel and look at all the houses and find where your archetypes fit in the houses. So, there's all the houses that go around that say the home and your career and things like that. And you have an archetype that will show up in all these houses. And you can say, I know who I am because I have the archetype of, the innocence, as we're going to call it, over here in my service. So when I'm giving service to other people, I have to be aware of that. So our soul loss is actually a gift to say, hey, although I'm being protected, what can I do to bring it into balance? What can I do to retrieve this special aspect of who I am and the love that I am around? So even though it sounds kind of scary experiencing soul loss, we all do it on many, many different levels. And it's just bringing it to the awareness of where we are, how we're acting, being truthful with ourselves, and then trying to balance it accordingly. You can't really change your archetypes. Like that's who you are, that's who your soul picked, but you can work on bringing them into balance. And we go through all of this in a very in-depth way through the Shamanic Energy Healing Practitioner course, which is coming up in fall, September 20th. We do it in a way to do it for yourself so you can have a personal experience of seeing how you go through this stuff, but also to help clients. So it's not just helping you, you're given a lending handout to other people and showing them, hey, let's bring up into awareness as we move into the 5 dimension, right? Which is all about health, or not health, it's all about love and who you are and bringing the light and your gifts to surface. We have to let go of our BS, and our BS is our belief system. So the more that you dive in to do this work, the better you are coming out into the light. It takes courage to look at your shadow self. It takes courage to walk in and find where we're not shining our best. And I actually made my own cards, oracle cards, a while ago that correlates a crystal with a archetype. So here is, for example, here's the amethyst and the addict go together. Here's another one. Oh, I love this. The Snowflake Obsidian and the detective. And we just talked about using Snowflake Obsidian to find out our soul loss. You have to be a detective with that. You have to bring it to the surface. Snowflake Obsidian is one of my favorite crystals because if you look at obsidian's black, but snowflakes have all these beautiful, white spots on the surface. And I like to do it for soul loss because you're bringing the stuff up, the light stuff out through the darkness and up. So that's why if you look at the Snowflake Obsidian, it's all black with white dots. It's bringing your stuff to the surface to work on. And you have to be a little bit of a detective to do that. So I invite you to join me. It's September 20th, and you can look at it through thechakradeva.com. So I also want to do just a little card reading to see what we have for the energy flowing around us tonight. And I want to pick the energy of the week, the energy of the upcoming week. I love that. And what is the challenge around that? Let's do the challenge around this. You guys ever notice I have my cards fly out of my hand, and that's how I know that that is the one that we are working on. Oh my goodness. So what this has to do with our conversation and our talk, I'm really liking this. So the energy around us is the inner child. And as you just know, we just talked about soul loss, and that can happen anywhere. It usually happens in your childhood, and it continues forward to the upcoming adulthood, whatever you go into. So even if you think that you're having a challenge now, you may actually be having a challenge that was created as your childhood. So the energy is all about doing inner childhood work. Funny, isn't it? Your challenge. Challenge is the courage card, and that is Tiger's Eye. I will tell you something that I love about Tiger's Eye. A tiger's eye, as you notice, it has all of these stripes through it. So I think about the stripes as steps in the big goal. So if you think about soul loss and coming into your full purpose, you would think about the whole stone as the whole goal. And then the lines that are coming up are the steps to get there. And finally, we also asked, what advice do you have? What advice can we give everyone? And it's spiritual awakening. So I'm telling you, if this is calling you soul loss information, now is the time to step into it, because it's going to be big during the fall season to work with it and to bring it to the surface. So I applaud you for looking into the class, and I can't wait to work with you. And I also want to say hello to Lisa. Lisa, how are you tonight?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. What can I help you with?
Oh, I was hoping you could advise me, or if you can see an outcome of a dispute I have between myself and a qualified surgeon.
Ooh, the qualified surgeon. I can. For some reason, I have an uncle. You have an uncle on the other side?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fantastic. So he's going to help with your reading.
Wonderful.
Because as soon as I hear your voice, that's who I feel. I feel an uncle presence around me right now. All right, so I'm going to get out my cards. We're going to use the Energy Oracle cards. And let's find out the energy around what's going on with you. Okay, so the card that came out is the second chakra. Second chakra is basically your feminine area. A contract. All right. And a contract. Let's go for it. The challenge, please. Let's go for the challenge. I'm trying to look into it. Ooh, my cards, I pull out a card and it literally flies out. So I always have to bend down and get them connected. By chance, you and the surgeon, do you know where your sacral chakra is located?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fantastic. Is it in that area where you're having issues?
One of the complaints is, yes, in that area. Yes.
Okay. And it's interesting because when I put out a card for the challenge, it's also like relationships, emotional, has to do with that physical issue. Now, I did a advice card and I am not sure about this card. So I'm actually going to get out my cards to read it to you. It looks really good. It says door to value and it has lots of money around it. So let me pull this.
Well, that's a positive sign.
It's a very positive sign, actually. It says new beginnings in finance. So I believe that that is a great thing for the outcome, because that was my outcome card. So this card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that's filled with light and bright potential. So money, coins, and jewels fly towards you through the open door, revealing a gold city behind it. I can't tell you, your outcome's really good on this one. So all this points to the potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where money are concerned. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps you've been working towards something for a while. Either way, keep your eyes open on this new beginning to appear in your life, knowing that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative and get ready to step through the door. Money is coming.
Oh, wow, that's positive.
That's very positive. That
Yes,
feels
I was
really
just concerned whether or not the medical society or board would take my word over his word. So,
well. It looks pretty promising in the cards. I will say that. But when I did
do you have a time frame?
Okay, so I just saw the number 6, so it's almost going to be 6 months. So sorry, it's not. It's
That's
not.
okay.
It's. I almost feel like I'm getting things together, information together, proving myself, proving it, and there's another person who's also involved. It's a male. It's a male.
Mr. Surgeon, would that be his secretary?
No, on your side, not on his side. It would be on your side. Like you're going to make a connection with another person, and it's to help and assist you in your case. It almost feels like it's not the first time. I would look into this person's record as well. Just saying, wouldn't hurt.
Yes. I
don't.
I didn't have access to his records in that case, but I have put forward my case, which is somewhat contradictory to what he's put forward.
Okay, I hate to say this, but I wonder even if there's like Google, if somebody wrote a review about him or anything like that, that you could dig up on.
Yeah, but I have evidence with my what he's contradicted about. I actually have the evidence on my side on a couple of issues.
Okay, well, it feels good. Like your cards feel pretty good that I just laid out, and there's also going to be a deeper connection in a relationship because of this.
Okay, well, that's good news.
Yeah, no, I like that too.
That all sounds very positive. I appreciate your input there. That's given me a peace of mind.
Sure, absolutely. There's also, sorry, I'm getting a woman on the other side as well, who's here supporting you. Is that your mom?
It would be a grandmother, or it could be a girlfriend. Either grandmothers or
it's probably a grandmother that, well, she comes bringing you flowers. That's what I see. Like a bouquet of flowers would be around her, or given to her. Dedication. She's saying dedication.
Okay, well, that's positive too.
Somebody have their name passed down?
One of my grandmothers, my mother's middle name is her name.
Okay, and I'm also seeing that's kind of funny. I'm seeing a clock. There's something with a clock, like I don't know if it's cuckoo clock, but I'm seeing a clock.
Okay, that could have to do with time,
Like a wall clock, not like a grandfather clock, but like a smaller wooden clock that was on the wall. But I see that too.
Yeah, she did actually have I believe she had a wall clock in the lounge room.
Okay. she's here to support you. Your uncle's here to support you. I would just keep continuing going on your way. And when you have worries, just give them over, right? You give them over to your higher good, whoever that is, so that you can have the peace of mind and be able to sleep clear throughout the night.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, because I get this feeling like, am I going to get in trouble? There's something about trouble. Having trouble going
I was
around.
concerned because he's a qualified surgeon and I'm just a, average person. I was concerned that he would be seen as in more regard because his status, which would make my case look less important. So does that make sense?
Yes, but let's get rid of that belief because you are amazing. Right? And when you step into your own power, you are amazing. You know what happened on your side. So I would clear out that belief that somebody is, just go into it with a clear mind and say, this is what happens and present. All right. You don't want anything else boggling you down in there as well.
Yes, that's good advice.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Lisa. It was so nice to meet you.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Okay. So before we go and we wrap this up, I just want to really quick just pull a card for you who's listening and connect in with it because I'm definitely feeling the power of this. The crystal. There needs to be a crystal that you guys are going to use this week. So what crystal would help everybody all together? What do we have? Let's see. What is the crystal of the week? That's what I like to call it. What crystal do I need to walk around with during this week? We're shuffling. Thank you. All right. So we had 2 fall out. We have a rose quartz to remind you that you guys are the love. And we also have honey calcite. So honey calcite reminds you to be in your power. This shows the beggar. The beggar is not in their power. So the opposite side of the archetype is to be in your power. So find those 2 if you guys need them this week. Hold them, put them into your pockets, carry them around. If you have any questions or if you would like a session with me, please go to thechakradeva.com. I will see you next Thursday at 9 p.m.